Welcome to the CMO Spotlight, and I'm here with Akerho, or AK Oghoghomeh, who is the Senior Vice President of Global Marketing for Beyond Meat.
They should say yes more often. I said yes to a lot, but I wish I had said yes to even more. More experiences kind of shapes you differently than when you say no. And this whole idea of a career path that kind of stair steps its way up, for the entirety of a career is a farce. The truth of it is that by saying yes to more things, you might zigzag a bit. But as long as you realize that you're picking up new skill sets and competencies and you're building yourself to become a better human being, you'll become a better marketer as well. Because at the end of the day, whether it's B2B marketing, B2C marketing, direct-to-consumer marketing, you're speaking and working with humans. You're trying to influence behavior of humans. And the best way to do that is to be human yourself and have a myriad number of experiences. So say yes to dinners that you might not want to go to. Say yes to having conversations with people that don't look like you and don't think the way that you look. Say yes more often, and I think you'll be more successful. I'm a connector, right? I like to believe that my superpower is connecting people together. People who might not otherwise meet or see each other, who might not otherwise see the connectivity between the things that they do. And I like bringing them together to find harmonious matching, right? So it's not necessarily a romantic thing, but at the same time, I do love learning about something that someone's dealing with, a challenge that they're trying to overcome, and knowing that there's someone that I've met at some point in my life that might be able to help in some way, and bringing them together to find some solution, or finding ways to actually enhance the work that someone's doing by saying, hey, this is an avenue that you haven't even explored. Speak to this person and see what happens. And I've been very fortunate that many of the things that I've done to help connect people together have been very fruitful for people, whether it's furthering people's careers or finding ways to build businesses. It's been a lot of fun. The first one is simplicity. I want to make sure that whatever I do, whatever process that I'm a part of, that I find ways to drive out complexity and find the simplest way possible to get something done. Remove administrative work whenever possible so that people can get to the actual work of building brands and building businesses. The next thing is really around accountability. I want to make sure that I own everything that I'm supposed to own, but I hold other people accountable to own their things as well. I really do believe that you need to own your stuff. And I want to make sure that my teams understand that accountability cuts a couple of ways. You can hold yourself accountable, but you should also hold each other accountable to making sure that we work together. And that leads me to collaboration. I really do believe in collaboration and working together as a team. I believe in conflict. I think conflict can actually create some really incredible things, but you've got to be willing to work together. So for me, collaboration is critically important. And the last thing that I always talk about, this is the fourth thing, it's not really as easy to frame up as simplicity, accountability, or collaboration, but it's this idea of bumping the lamp. I want you to bump the lamp as well. Go the extra mile to make sure that we execute with excellence, right? Make sure that you're doing the best that you could possibly do for something. And I'll hold you accountable to that, and you hold me accountable. So if I'm not doing something to 100 points, tell me that I need to bump the lamp, because you know that I will tell you the same thing, especially if it's something that's going to face the consumer or our colleagues internally. The biggest impact that I had was probably at Red Bull, just because there's so many marketing activities that we did. We did an event called Red Bull Culture Clash. And this is an event that really takes on a lot of likenesses from Jamaican sound clashes that happened back in Jamaica back in the 70s and early 80s, which were the predecessors and influencers of, cool DJ Kool Herc and hip hop, right? The foundations of hip hop came from Jamaican sound clash culture. So Red Bull came up with this really cool event concept. It was not my idea, to take 4 different crews and have them compete with each other across different music genres, right? But it was a clash of cultures. So EDM, electronic, versus Jamaican reggae style versus hip hop versus whatever. What was really cool about this activation was that it gave me the freedom to actually work with whoever I needed to work with to create the campaign. So I worked with a really great agency based in Atlanta, and they came up with a campaign idea to feature a local artist. And the local artist would basically come up with all the campaign creative. And this artist, his name is Fabian Williams, fantastic artist based in Atlanta. And he created this really cool blending of superheroes, because I love superheroes, and musicians and artists, and he turned them into superheroes with this really iconic imagery. And he hand painted everything. The agency then went and scanned all this information, and then they created these beautiful pieces of artwork that we then used as the foundation for the campaigns. It was a massive out-of-home campaign. We did social media, ads on social. We did a lot of digital ads as well. We were able to sell out the event very, very quickly because of the marketing campaign. But for me, what made it so special was linking what Red Bull wanted to do with the local community, working with Fabian, working with a local artist that was really talented, and putting his artwork on a massive spotlight so that people who were as famous as Mike Will made it, and Ludacris was there, and they all got a chance to see it and be impacted by it. It was really special to me. And the outcomes for that campaign were fantastic for the company as well. So it was really a beautiful marriage of community as well as culture, as well as some of the company needs as well. The quote that inspires me most is a quote from the Bible, Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so does one person sharpen another. It is a quote that I use in so many different ways in my life, whether it's about the friendships that I build, the relationships that I build, the relationship that I have with my wife, or even the people that I work with in the corporate office. You can only go so far alone. In order to actually go further and higher, you need to work with other people in a very collaborative way. And if you work with the right people, those people will make you better. They will sharpen you in the same way that iron sharpens iron. So for me, that's something that I live with and I think about often, because it's so applicable to what we do.